Hi, everybody. Welcome to Sunday Funday with Paul and Judy. What a great weekend this is going to be.
This is going to be incredible.
Yeah, we have a lot going on.
First of all, the weather's spectacular.
I know. Well, at least here in our neck of the woods, it is. You're going to see, as you just are, boats going by and the water rippling in the background. And this is, people always say, like, where are you? So we're in Florida, and this is our backyard. So we're very fortunate that we get to open up the windows and look at this every day. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. But just to get some business out of the way for everybody who's watching, first, welcome. We're so glad you're here. Yes, we have a very special guest who's going to be joining us. But third, I just wanted you to know that this week we're suspending the Judy's Corner. So one of the designers, one of my website designers, and you can appreciate this, anybody who's had difficulties in their family is struggling with a mom with Alzheimer's. And obviously his mind and his actions are occupied with taking care of her.
We said that's the priority.
And we said, oh my gosh, please, like this can wait. This jewelry thing is pure fun and we can start this back up anytime.
And we should acknowledge also that I know that some people had difficulty on their mobile devices.
Yes.
Getting to Dubai.
On the lens. So we're working on it to be a frustrating experience. We want it to be fun and easy, but I am kind of cheating a little bit.
Oh, you are?
You want to tell them how?
No.
Well, I will then.
Yes.
What do you think of my necklaces?
Very pretty.
Well, we're working on some fun designs. I do notice that we've got some buffering going on, so I don't know if that's going to stay that way the whole time. I know it looks...
But we know you guys will let us know. You're always good at that.
Yeah, you're always good at letting us know. In fact, we have some people already kind of saying hello from San Francisco.
And we forgot the most important thing, the way we start every broadcast.
Yes, this is true. All right. And we'll have to do this again once Dan joins us.
Cheers.
Cheers to you. We hope you have a wonderful day and enjoy our Sunday Fun Day this weekend.
We hope that your football team wins this week. My Steelers took care of business on Thursday night.
Yes, he had a great day on Thursday, so he was pacing.
The Wolverine. We'll talk about that later.
We hear some background sounds. Yeah.
Anything else we need to do business-wise?
I don't know. Was there anything you wanted to talk about as far as and broadcast? I know you have big meetings next week.
Yeah, I got big meetings on this coming Tuesday, and then on the 6th of December, I believe, is my next show. So you and I will do our Thanksgiving thing and all that before then. As far as next Sunday goes, I think we're still in town, but the following Sunday we will be in Denver.
So we're going to have to figure out where we can do our Sunday Fun Day because we can't miss one.
Maybe we can do it from an actual tailgate.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Field or whatever.
And then this would have even more meaning.
Well, we should probably, how do we do the big intro?
You always do your drum roll.
Wait a minute.
There you go. Right. Okay.
I had to do the box before I could use the table.
It's kind of weak, but here he is, the one and only Dan Wheeler.
Wait a minute. I really have something that I need to say because when I knew him all those years ago when he was just humble and didn't have a best-selling book, it was Dan Wheeler. Now it's Daniel.
Daniel Wheeler.
Hi, Dan.
Hey, Dan.
How you doing, Paul?
I don't want to hear about that.
I don't know if you notice we're fourth in the nation right now.
Right.
And to not be outdone, even though I'm not in the sun.
Cheers. There you go, baby.
Fantastic.
Cheers.
Fantastic.
So glad to have you on our show today.
And first of all, congratulations on the success of your book. For those of you that don't know, Dan has written a book.
And he has more props. So Dan, take it away. Let's see it. Let's see it.
It's full screen.
There we go.
Thank you, guys. It's so great to see you guys. It's been way too long. We have to get together. Obviously, I need to come to you. It's much warmer there.
Deal.
I know. I'm sorry that we're rubbing it in a little bit too much with the water trickling and the boat zooming by. But, somebody's
this is the worst.
Here.
This is the worst day that we have.
Oh, it's so bad. We've had so much rain.
So tell your book again, Dan, and tell us.
The thing is called Hurricane of Love. You guys knew my wife, Beth, and what a great lady. And it's really, I wrote the book so people could get to know her, but also to know what it was like. You know, in our business, it's tough sometimes when you go through difficult challenges. But I was trying to be this cheerful, upbeat host on QVC while Beth was battling for her life. And I talk about those times, but you know, you get through with your faith and your friends and your family. And this book, I think it's been inspiring a lot of people. I spend 3 to 4 hours a day answering emails from people who said, it helped me. A lot of people are stuck in their grief. And I felt like, you know, God was telling me that Beth's in heaven cheering me on. Her race is over. I have a race to run. So it's Hurricane of Love. You can get it on Amazon or go to hurricaneoflove.com. That's my landing page. And there's an interview with me about the book. But, and you know, being the salesman, I have soft cover or hardcover or the ebook versions available. But thank you to everyone who's ordered it. And it's just great to be with you guys because, you know, it's obviously since we were together back in the day and we were all hanging out, you know, my life took some very different turns and you never know. But the other message in Hurricane of Love is to live in the moment. We've got right now, you've got to make the most of it.
Yeah, you're so right. And there are a lot of people who are watching our broadcast today specifically to see you. And so many of them have said they have downloaded your book. Some said that they just finished your book. Some said it just arrived and they can't wait to read it. So we've really had some wonderful positive comments and support for you all the way around. And I know that you're pretty much, I mean, it's funny because when we ask people about being a guest on our show, they're not really quite sure what to expect. And being host for so many years, you know, we always did everything live. Yeah, we just roll with it. Like
right,
there's questions that are set aside. But you have had so much practice being on radio shows and crisscrossing the country on TV shows. This is like falling off a log for you.
Well, you know, obviously we had a little bit of a buffering issue and you never know what's going to happen, but we're just praying this all holds. Oh, there's Laura Searcher. A lot of people saying hello. And I've heard from a lot of your fans on my page that said, so excited to see you on Paul and Judy's FUNDAY, Sunday FUNDAY. And I think it's great what you're doing because so many people miss, you know, the old hosts. I hear about it all the time and they're like, you know, and let's admit, guys, we were pretty good back in the day, right? You know,
we just know ourselves.
And the longer it is, the better we were. But I still watch you guys. You're just still on. Yeah.
Right?
This is a different game for me, you know, talking about Beth and things that are really important and not having to sell, you know, other than the book, shameless plug. But yeah, it's, you know, how we all needed changes and, you know, you guys are kind of doing your own thing. And I think that's great. You finally get to a place where, you know, it's time to kind of do my own thing now.
Yeah, and have a passion for it.
Absolutely.
You know, I want to talk about the book a little bit because I'm trying to put myself in your shoes, which would be incredibly difficult. That I can't think of anything more disruptive or more disturbing or to have to deal with, and the strength that you had to show, and the conviction that you had to have, and it's really become an inspiration for a lot of people. Take us through that process. I mean,
thanks, Paul. And first of all, I want to thank you guys. I know you posted when the book came out, and I sure appreciate that. I didn't ask for that, but that was great. But yeah, you know, you guys are in love, and I knew it. You know, the second you guys met, and you're so great together, and you share your life, and it's, you know, that person becomes your anchor person. And it's like whenever anything good in my life happens, I still want to pick up my phone and call Beth. And I still want to tell her they're your person, your anchor person. And she balanced me in so many ways. You know, she was always like kind of wanted to take a back seat and behind the scenes. She was all about the home. I'm still in our home. I'll probably move this next year because it's just me alone here now, but it's hard to leave because I see Beth's handiwork everywhere. And she was my best friend, you know. And you know, everybody's like, man, you should get out there and you should date and everything. And you know, you got to be ready. And you think, who's going to replace her, you know? I mean, Judy, you and I go back all the way to CVN days. I remember training you when you first came from Detroit, right?
The pictures that I put up in promoting our little show today was from that time. And I have another one to show you. See if you recognize this beautiful lady and remember the day.
Yes, I remember it well. Kendi.
Yes, the beautiful bride. I was just absolutely enamored with her dress. She looked amazing. And then I think Beth was home taking care of the girls. I
Right.
hadn't met this one yet. And
Right.
so this is what we were doing.
There we were. Whoa, look at the head of hair I had.
We were cutting a rug, baby.
We were cutting a rug. There's Alan in the background, Alan Scants. Yeah.
Yep.
I do remember that, Judy. We danced the night away. It was
I know,
great.
so much. I thought you'd get a kick out of seeing some of those memories too.
When you go through something like what I went through, everything's, I write in the book that when we got the stage 4 cancer diagnosis, my priorities were instantly turned upside down, but ultimately right side up. Being with Beth, caring for her became priority number 1. And I remember praying and saying, God, give me the strength, because I'm not by nature a caregiver. That I had never done that. And, and Beth got bad at the end, and things happened that are embarrassing, and she was comfortable with me. And I'll never forget one day in the hospital. I mean, I knew it was getting near the end. We were downtown Philadelphia, and it was hard. I was living with her in the hospital room. And I have to say, Jack and everybody at QVC were so good to me. They were like, you need to be there with her. Just don't even worry about this place. And it was great. But she looked at me one day after I'd cleaned her up, and she said, what would I ever do without you? And I looked at her and I said, you will never need to know. And that made me so happy. I was finally in that place in my life. And, I say to you guys, and I know I don't need to tell you guys this, you really are in love and you appreciate each other. And, I tell people, tell your spouse, your partner, that you love them every day. Don't ever take it for granted. You never think it's going to happen to you. I never thought we'd wake up and find out Beth had stage 4 cancer. It rocks your world. And, I remember being in the host lounge and hearing people complain about, oh, I have to work an extra hour, or it's raining again. And I almost wanted to scream. I wanted to walk out and say, you don't have any problems. Stage 4 cancer is a problem. My wife is dying. That's a problem. The fact that you have to work an extra hour, no problem. So I tell people, just put your priorities in order and love every day.
Yeah.
Appreciate every moment.
It's a great point, because everybody, and I was just listening to this on the radio this morning, everybody, no matter how it looks from the outside, or how much money you have, or how much celebrity or status you have, everybody has issues. So it's not as though we're immune from them. But if you imagine yourself and of course today is the 100th anniversary of the end of World War I. If you imagine yourself in war times, how different your priorities would be. You wouldn't be worrying about the little things. You wouldn't be worrying about, the paint that's chipping over here on the wall, or gosh darn, the bill from the electric company. It would be, your priorities would be so different. And it puts things into perspective. And it's exactly what you're talking about. And I know that that's what you talk about, on your tours and the different channels that you're on. Tell us a little bit about your agenda coming up for the next couple of months, because there are going to be some people who
bought the
watching
book and want to get signed.
I don't know if they come to the TV station, but
I appreciate it. Well, I appeared on Jay Sekulow Live, and he just texted me last night. He's the president's lawyer. I don't know if that offends me, but he likes the man's policies, but he drives him a little crazy at times. But anyway, that is going to air again Thanksgiving weekend, which is nice. And then I'm going the end of the month to Branson, Missouri, heart of America. I know the mayor, and she's like, you have a lot of fans here, and I'm going to be doing a book signing at D. Charleston Books in Branson on, I hope I get there, Saturday, December 1st. And I'm also going to be doing local media there, and I'm going to be at the parade, the big Adoration Parade. So I hope if you have friends that are in the Branson area, Springfield area, it's like coming home for me. I went to college in Springfield, Missouri, and I haven't been to Branson. Have you guys been to Branson at all?
I don't think I have.
I don't think I
went to the game.
I don't even think I've been to Missouri.
I went to Missouri once, University of Missouri.
Okay, that's in Jefferson City. Yeah. This is down the southwest corner, but Branson is like this, I want to say like a mini Las Vegas in Missouri, but they've got rides and amusement parks, and a lot of performers and everything have places there. And kind of middle America, and I guess, a lot of people that watch QVC.
Theater, right?
Pardon?
Famous for the dinner theater that.
Yes, Dinner theaters, right. So I'm looking forward to that. That's the weekend of December 1st. And then the next week, I'm down by your way. I'm in Tampa.
Ooh.
I'm going to be on the Clearwater. There's a CTN, the Christian Television Network, Channel 22. I'm doing a couple shows there. And I'm hoping we can get together live and in person, at least say hi, cup of coffee.
What's the date? We're going to have to organize our calendars.
Yeah. So that's happening. And then I also know before the end of the year, I'm going to Dallas to be on a show, Uplift TV. And I'm working on WGN TV. I still have contacts in Chicago. And the guy that directed the first home shopping show I ever did, guys, this was way before I knew you. My co-host was Kendi was one and Jane Lynch was the other, the actress.
Wow,
right.
yeah, of course.
And we had a blast. We didn't know what we were doing. They literally threw product in front of us, no description, nothing. We'd sell it. This one lady would call every night. I recognized her voice. I think she was in the back room. But that show went under. They still owe me money, by the way. I'm never going to collect. But and then after that, then I had my own company, and that's when CVN called, and I went up there, and that's where I met you, Judy, and then you went to QVC, and then I came to QVC, and then Paul came to QVC, and so that's how the three of us know. By the way, here's Zoe. She's the star of my Facebook page.
Hi, little Zoe. Yeah, she's precious. And speaking of the times that we met, I have more show and tell for you, Dan.
Oh my goodness, I love this.
So this goes back to 1999.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
And I want
The
you to,
insider.
I'm going to see if I can go around, see if I can get the camera to see these faces. So
There's
there I am with Lisa Mason.
Lisa Mason, yeah. There's Kim Parrish.
Parrish. And then there's a young.
Okay. Wow, is he good looking?
What happened?
Oh, that was that Paul guy, DC.
Yeah. And
There's our favorite, Steve Bryant.
Yep, Steve Bryant. And then we have Jill Bauer and
Lynn Tucker.
Lynn Tucker. Yes. Lynn Tucker, who I think is out in Los Angeles now.
Yeah.
And look, Suzanne Runyon.
Suzanne Runyon, yes.
That was right around the time that she had Ethan. She was with Ethan around that time. And then, I recognize these two people. Wait, I'm not finished. Let me keep going around.
Kathy.
There's Kathy.
What a sweetheart.
And then,
Dave King.
Yep, Dave King.
And Bob Bauer.
Socks.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do this without being able to
can't
see
see
what I'm
it.
doing.
Yeah,
There's Lisa Robertson.
Yeah.
Another one that I'd love to get to have on our show.
Yeah, she'd be great. Love Lisa.
And we have Mary Beth and David Venable.
Yeah.
Look at them. We're all so young.
I
And
know.
there's Dan Wheeler.
Rick and me and Pat. Wow, I had hair and I didn't have facial hair. Who are those gingerbread cookies?
Isn't that fun?
When you
to
think
see
about
everybody?
it, there's a very short list of people that have ever done that job.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
that's
really amazing.
Yeah.
true.
So that's fun. And then I have another show and tell.
Uh-oh.
And
I
then I'll
love these pictures. This is a walk down memory lane.
know, right, for everybody watching too.
Yeah.
But this is something that I found. We've been creating a little, I call it sort of the beauty jewelry studio for the Judy's Corner that we're working on together.
Nice.
I was cleaning out some bookshelves and I found this.
Yes.
You remember this book? Purpose
Yep.
of Life? Well, do you remember? Giving it to me?
Oh, wow. I didn't know I did.
That was the sweetest thing. And you can see that
Yeah.
you said, I'm going to miss you at the queue. So this was just as Paul and I were leaving to move on to
Wait.
Florida.
Show something on the back and why he gave it to you. See? Show that. Not for resale.
By the way, if you get my book, you can resell it, but
Buy another one.
you know, that book, I still have it. It's a great book. I sometimes go back and refer to it. And oh, morning. Gosh, I'm seeing the comments pop up. This is fun.
Isn't this fun? It really is. And you'll have a ball. Not all of the comments I'm able to get to because there's so many that are coming through at a time. So after the broadcast is over, everybody can take the broadcast and share it on their own Facebook page. If you want to share it on your
I
page,
will. Oh, there's someone. Hi, Zoe.
watch it again.
I saw it.
Hi, Buff. I will definitely repost it. I guess there'll be a link I can get off your page and then just share it.
All you have to do is go back to the Judy Kroll Style page that we're on right now, and then you just share it, and it'll show up on your page. Somebody just said they have that same.
I know. Did you see that comment? They have that insider. Oh my goodness, that's a collector's edition.
A stack of them. I don't know why I kept them all, but they've been so much fun to go back through.
You know, I've got some in a bin somewhere.
Yeah, I just can't let go of them. You know, it just so fun to see.
So the book,
you come across those bins, you're like, oh, great memories.
Exactly.
So the book is Hurricane of Love.
Oh, why did you name it Hurricane of Love, by the way?
Okay, it's funny. My niece Tara, the day that Beth passed away, she's a very good writer, and in her blog she said, my Aunt Beth's love was like a hurricane. It hit everyone in its path.
Wow.
So, Tara, that's going to be the title of Beth's biography if I ever get around to writing it. And then I was doing a series of blogs for QVC, and they became so popular, and everybody's like, please write a book. And so I did. And Hurricane of Love, you can get it if you go to hurricaneoflove.com. That's my landing page. And the publisher did a really nice interview with me about the book and why I wrote it. And I just want people to know who Beth was. You guys knew her, but she was just full of love, you know, and she was all about other people and serving. And she taught me to live in the moment. I'll share just a quick story from the book. We have a little sitting room in our home. When you go to the right, there's some French doors, and you go in, and there's no TV. The perfect conversation room. There's just a couch and a lazy boy chair. And Beth used to sit on that couch every morning having her coffee, and she'd say, come here, Cakeys. That was our nickname, Cakeys.
Oh, you did. You called it. I remember that. Yep.
Yeah. It started out as baby cakes, then cakes, and it evolved to Cakeys. So I'd say, come have coffee. And, you know, regrettably, so many times I'd say, Beth, I don't have time for coffee. I got to get going. I've got to get into work. I've got to do a project. But when we got that diagnosis, I always sat. When I say your priorities are turned upside down, Beth became priority number one. And I just wanted to be there for her because she would have been there for me 1,000 times over. And literally, guys, there were hundreds of doctor's appointments and procedures and surgeries and chemotherapy appointments. And we turned chemotherapy sessions into dates. We really tried to make the best of everything. And we found this little bakery on the first floor of where we had to go in downtown Philadelphia for the chemo sessions. And they had chocolate croissants. And when Beth and I started dating in Chicago, we had this little bakery. We'd stop and get chocolate croissants. So I'd go up, and she'd go to the doctor's, check in, and then I'd bring them into the suite, and we'd warm them up. And then at lunch, I'd go back down there. They had tomato basil soup. And, you know, we discovered that croissants and tomato basil soup in a chemo suite with the one you love is still special. And, I really feel like we made the most of that time, you know?
Incredible.
Yeah, it sounds like you did. And I'm what your point is also is that you don't want to wait for that kind of diagnosis to make the most of your time, right? I'm sure that's got to be one of your messages. But also, I saw you probably on your Facebook page, or maybe it was the show that you were talking about, Trump's lawyer.
With Jay.
Yeah, with Jay.
Yeah.
I think we were watching that together.
Mm-hmm.
And you said something because they took other phone callers, and a man had called in, and his wife was in the same situation.
Yes,
do you remember that call?
Yes, I do.
And were very empathetic, of course, understanding. And when there's a point at which there's nothing that you on the other side can do, what is the best advice? Just to let someone listen? I mean, what was it for you as you were going through it that made you feel the best? What was the most helpful?
Well, you know, Judy, you're really insightful because, you know, it's one thing to be on QVC and you're presenting product and people call in and nice, but when you're on a live national TV and radio show and people are calling and crying, and Jay would just look at me like, take the call. And I was like, oh God, what do I say? Give me wisdom. I just, like you said, you try to be empathetic. You try to be there. And that's my message. You know, people always say, oh, they know someone's in a hospital or their friend's going through a hard time, but they don't know what to say to them. I say, just show up. Just be there. You don't have to say anything. Just your presence. I call it the gift of your presence. Because it's not about what you say, but they'll remember you cared, and you just need that. I remember people, one day I came out into my kitchen, I had like 25 people here. Beth had stopped treatment. It was our final days. And I was just in the bedroom with her. I didn't want to leave. And I came out in the kitchen to get a cup of coffee. Here's Mary Beth stacking my refrigerator full of food. One day, Rick Domeyer came over. His wife, Amy, had cooked all these soups. And that is such a blessing. My sax player in my band that I play with, he showed up with soft pretzels, So bring food and show up. That's my message.
And that's good. I know this is funny, but my mind goes back to, I was selling some product on QVC. And it was written by somebody who, I'm a life coach or something like that. And what they said was, yeah, show up. Don't ask them what you can do for them.
Exactly.
Because then they now you've given them a job.
Yes.
Can't think about. So that's great advice. And I think perspective, as you talked about, Judy and I have a cute little story because it doesn't have to be something major that makes you take a step back and say, appreciate each moment. We used to, once we got this, you can see our beautiful background where we live.
Beautiful. And you don't have to mow any of that grass behind you.
So when we would, you'd have to cross, anytime you're going, we're on an island. So you'd have to cross a bridge, and sometimes that bridge is up and you have to wait.
Well, that's to keep the riffraff like me out. So exactly. I can't.
And it's not working. So we would complain sometimes, and then at one point,
I'm gonna drink to that.
Yeah, we are too.
But at one point, and it's Judy's and my little inside joke, but I said, you know what? We live in a place where a bridge goes up. Isn't that fantastic?
To let the boats go through.
So now, whenever we see that happen, we stop.
We text each other.
The bridge is up.
Look, the bridge is up. Yay!
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. Thinking of it as wasting our time, or oh my gosh, I'm late.
No,
what an annoyance! I get that. Wait a minute. It makes you go.
Yeah. So life is full of those moments where we can turn it around.
Yeah. I love seeing you guys. It makes me realize how much I miss you because you're both such positive and empathetic people, and you kind of want to surround yourself with that. And people don't realize, but we became a close-knit family, certain of us. And I saw you had Dave King on. I wish he lived closer. He's out.
Wasn't that good? Oh, so good.
Yeah. But the neat thing is, and we have to work on this, guys, when we're in the same part of the country, like when I come down there, and I get down there a lot, and shame on me for not getting in touch with you, but we got to get together. And if you guys are ever up here, until I move, I have 3 or 4 empty bedrooms upstairs. So
Judy has the Daniel suite. For the author, not for Dan. Daniel Wheeler.
Okay, wait. I have to explain that. So the reason my personal page is Daniel, when I was leaving QVC, I wanted to move some of my followers over, and they knew me as Dan Wheeler. Right. So I changed my personal page to Daniel, but you don't have to call me that. That's very formal.
Oh, it's my name.
I have so many people like, what's up with the Daniel now? Hey, you guys can still call me anything you want except for late to dinner.
Yeah. And bring your basketball shoes down.
Oh man, Paul and I were talking, Judy, about he still plays basketball. I got in a game about a year ago with Tommy Czar at the gym, and oh my gosh, I aged for days. I don't know how you're still playing. I throw my ball for this one.
The croissant wouldn't heal.
That's right.
Right. You bring her used to be a baseball player, and I throw her little ball 10 feet, my arm about falls off.
We have a dog-friendly house dance, so Zoe is welcome.
Oh, good. Thank you. Thank you.
And a little sun shelf.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a dog or?
No, we lost Bree about 5 years ago now. Can you believe that?
Isn't it hard? They become your little buddy.
It was 13.
So it'll be 5 in May.
So it'll be,
5 years in May.
Yeah. 13. Yeah, 5 years. Oh, that's right. It hasn't been quite 5 years. Yeah. And but she lived to be 1 week shy of 15 years old. Wow. So we had her for a really long time. Yeah.
That's like over 100 and people years,
right? Gosh, a family member,
Yeah, yeah. So I love that you guys do so much together, because so many couples, and the message of just don't take each other for granted is for everyone listening. I'll tell you, when I used to say to Beth, I'm too busy, I would give anything to have a cup of coffee with her. I would, Kirsten and Kelsey, my 2 daughters who are both doing well. Kirsten has 3 children, my grandchildren. I'm a grandpa.
Daniel.
Grandpa, what do they call you?
Papa.
Papa. Okay.
I said, Grandpa sounds too old. I want to be the cool Papa.
Yeah.
So and my 2 grandsons are into baseball, so I'm coaching them. I'm working with them. It's so much fun. But
that's great.
Family is so important, and they really have kept me going. But I want to tell you, the last chapter in my book. You see how I did that? I brought it back to the book.
Nicely done.
Of Love, available at Westbow Press, Amazon, wherever books sold. The last.
Back on that just for a second, because there was a comment and somebody wanted to know if it was available in stores. So can you answer that?
Okay, they can go to any store and order it, and they'll get it there in a couple days. Here's the exciting news. My publisher is, I miss you, Wheels. Hi, my nickname. My publisher is Westbow Press. They're a small, basically kind of a self-publisher. They help authors and they do it all, but they treated me special. They felt I had a following. Well, they're owned by Thomas Nelson, which is owned by HarperCollins. I got a call the other day from an executive at HarperCollins, and they said, we've noticed your sales. We've noticed what you've done in your own, and they want to see my marketing plan. So I sent it to them. They're like, you're not using a publicist? I'm like, no, I'm doing this all. And they're like, we love your plan. Anyway, next year they want to take over and put it in all the bookstores. Take it to the booksellers convention and sell it to their salespeople. So that's the exciting news. The hard thing is I bought the inventory. I have a lot of my own money invested because when you do that, you make higher royalties. The way the publishing game is now, Amazon and Barnes and Noble, they have their own printers, and literally publishers just send them your manuscript and they print it and sell it, but they charge you a ton to do that. So by me buying the inventory, I make a higher royalty, and I'm using a lot of my personal proceeds to fund my ministry, Fearless Faith, which when you guys start talking, I'll run and get a mug, because I do this little thing on Facebook called Your Morning Cup of Inspiration every day.
With some of those. They're really good. They're really good. Yeah, and it's funny because I said to you the other day when I was telling you how we're going to line this up for this weekend, how you come up with ideas so frequently, because content for any of these broadcasts is the toughest thing, I think, whether you're blogging or broadcasting or Facebook living. So I'm impressed that of course, there are a lot of verses in the Bible, aren't there?
Yes.
I guess we never out.
Never material, but that's a good point, Judy. We literally, we're not preachers. I told my partners, look, we're just on an even keel. It's kind of like the QVC backyard fence philosophy. We just want to be friends having a cup of coffee, and we're very transparent. I talk about things I struggle with all the time. I hit my hand with a hammer. Sometimes bad words come out. I mean, we're not perfect, and I think there's kind of a
So you speak French then?
Un petit peu, oui.
Yeah.
Merde.
Pardon my French.
Pardon my French.
Yes, it all becomes French in those moments. But I just think that people are hungry for honesty. And I said, sometimes people even distrust preachers or preachers on TV. I'm like, let's be open, let's be real. And we're trying to just create a community where people can lift up. You guys know there's so much vitriol on social media and the hatred. It's acerbic, and I want to put something positive out there.
Yep, we need it. We definitely need it, and I'm sure everybody appreciates it. And how do they watch that cup of inspiration?
Okay, on Facebook, our page is just called Fearless Faith or FFM60. There's like 3 flames there, and I sometimes put up the links on my personal page, Dan Wheeler, public figure. They can go there and they'll see it. But we also have an Instagram page. And here, I'll run and I'll have to bring you guys a mug when I see you, but I'm going to grab one. So can you guys carry it live while I
don't know if we could do that.
As Paul always said, the thing that's tough about show hosts is not whether or not they'll be able to have something or find something to say. It's getting them to shut up.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm not worried about you guys. Be right back.
Don't pull a muscle. Get in the mug.
May I say something real quick? Because there have been a couple of comments about the necklaces. And I mentioned it when we first started the show that in this broadcast, we're not going to be doing a Judy's Corner because speaking of issues and family members
Right.
and needing attention. One of my website managers has a mom who's really struggling in hospice with Alzheimer's. So we said,
That's
go.
the priority.
That's the priority.
Yeah.
You take care of mom, and we'll be here and ready to roll.
We'll get you later. Yeah.
But the necklaces that I'm wearing, I wanted to show you because it's something that I want to bring to Judy's Corner. And so the comments that you've made about if it's available or where did you get your necklace?
It will be.
It will be. So I'm glad that you noticed. It's actually moonstone. And
I was going to ask you, I thought it was turquoise. Moonstone.
Yeah, it's actually moonstone.
It's a statement piece. It really is.
I'm glad you noticed. Of course, you sold
Dan,
jewelry
you still
for 30
got it.
years.
You still got it, Dan.
You think I could still, Paul, could I be a co-gem? I don't know nearly as much about gems, but I do remember all the birthstones.
Here comes a mugging.
Oh, yes.
There's your cue, Dan.
Thank you.
That's great.
And then on the other side.
Morning cup of inspiration.
Very nice.
And so, shameless plug, for a donation of $35 to our ministry, we send this out. And people are like, that's kind of expensive for a mug. I'm like, we're not selling it. It's your way of helping us. And literally, I have boxes of these in my basement. My two partners have it. We divide the country up into thirds. Guys, I'm getting pretty good at boxing things up. I could work in the QVC shipping department now.
Well, we'd be happy to help you if you need assistance in boxing your mugs.
We've done it with books ourselves.
With books.
You guys are doing that too? Who would have thought we'd be like boxers?
Yeah. or authors.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, it's our ideas. Let's just have a cup of coffee together. And, Judy, you asked, where do our ideas come from? Literally, it will just hit me. I literally get an idea, and usually I have a story and a verse, and I just go. And, sometimes it comes out pretty good, and sometimes maybe not so much. But people are always like, how did you know I was struggling with that issue today? I'm like, I had no idea. We're just trying to listen to God. Maybe it's God just saying, maybe you should think about this.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's wonderful what you're doing. As I said, I can't imagine the difficulty in the process of writing that, but it is really a celebration of life as much as anything.
Paul, I spent many days in my office. It was so weird going from QVC and all the excitement to literally sitting alone in my office, and some days just weeping and some days writing through tears. And it was so hard to relive it all because Beth, she got so bad at the end. Her body fills with fluid. We don't have to talk about it. I don't like seeing pictures of her at that time. And, you wonder sometimes with my faith, I'm like, God, why? She was so sweet. Why did she have to go through that? And you go through the guilt of feeling like, why am I healthy? I can still go to the gym and work out. And those are things we don't understand. But I can see there's a verse in the Bible that says, we know that all things work together for good to them who love God, to them who are called according to his purpose. It's Romans 8:28. And I thought, really, God, stage 4 cancer? I remember arguing with God, having these discussions. And now I can look back and see, some good is coming out of it. My whole life calling has changed. And I feel like I'm a better man for having gone through it. And writing the book was cathartic. It really has helped me.
I was going to ask you that. I would think that because you weren't writing it at the time she was going through it, you were writing it after. And I thought, wow, it just had to have been like, were you keeping a diary, or was just all from the heart and trying to introduce your beautiful wife to the world that you knew so well?
I've always been a note taker. Like whenever I had like guys like Joe DiMaggio or Bob Hope or Charlton Heston, those people on the air, I'd really pay attention. If they said something off camera or something interesting happened, I would jot it down. And literally the last several months, at night, I'd collapse in a bed, but I have my notepad by the bed and I would just write. And I look at my notes, I could hardly read it because sometimes I was so tired, but I would scribble down everything that happened. And I've always kept track on my calendar, so I know exactly what happened each date. And that really helps if you ever want to write a memoir or write something,
Sure, that's true. And our calendars are like diaries, really. What happened, what day, and that when we look back at them all the time, what year was that? What month was that? What when did we spend that Thanksgiving and with whom and all that stuff? So.
And I noticed your memory is a little bit better than Paul's. No.
Who are you again?
It's the hat with the shades. I feel like you belong on a ski slope in Colorado or something. Or
that could be great.
Yeah,
it is a good look. But hey, Paul, I just have to ask. What do you think of my Michigan Wolverines? Come on.
They put a pounding on the Nittany Lions.
They did. They did. Pounding. We took care of Wisconsin, Michigan State, but the Buckeyes,
every year. That's a big game every year.
I know.
I hope you take them down.
Oh, I hope so. It's funny how we get tied. Ever since I was a little kid, Judy, growing up in Michigan, my brother-in-law was kind of like a father figure to me. My parents were divorced when I was young, and he had me watching those games. It's like your identity is associated with that team almost, and we've had some rough years lately.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this one paces that we have a hole in the rug when the Steelers pacing back.
I did about.
And that was your dad, too, right?
I did about. No, he sat in the chair.
The whole family. There'll be a commercial and everybody talks and everybody goes to the kitchen, gets something to eat, and then the Steelers come back on and shh.
Boom. No speaking. Yeah.
My dad called it.
How are you a Steelers fan, Paul? Are you from Pennsylvania?
I grew up in Pittsburgh.
Oh, I was just there.
I know you were doing one of your ministries.
Yeah, when I grew up, I was born in 1960, so in the 70s, I'm a young kid, and I'm thinking, like Super Bowls are nothing. What do you?
Because they won.
I know.
4 and 6 years.
Doesn't everybody's team win it all the time?
Yeah. It's really getting boring.
This winning stuff.
Doing the sports shows on QVC in the 90s was so great. In fact, I have a tape where you were throwing to me at the Super Bowl.
Probably in Miami or something like that.
Yeah, I was down in Miami. But I had Franco Harris and Terry Bradshaw. Do you remember a guy named Rocky Blyer?
Yeah. Talk about inspiration.
He was just incredible and what he'd been through, tough as nails. And
Vietnam vet, wounded.
Yeah.
Had to learn to walk again, became a fullback in the NFL. And
poor Judy, we're talking football.
Yeah, I'm perfect.
That's okay. I'm used to it. I just go shopping on football Sundays.
Yes.
So my football is a very expensive hobby.
Yes, I guess, yeah, it is.
Hey, but now that I'm designing my own jewelry, he's saving a lot of money that way. So that's good. That's good.
You guys
this has been so much fun.
It has been. I just wanted to ask you I know, so you're on HSN. Yeah. Paul, you're on HSN. And Judy, you're doing the style and...
Yep, I'm doing the style. We're starting we actually started last weekend at Judy's Corner, and working on getting jewelry on a couple of different websites. So there'll be a couple of different venues. And we're also going to start working on doing a couple of Judy's Corners. So instead of just like something at the end of our little broadcast, I'm going to be doing different days of the week and self-contained. I'm building a jewelry studio in our house, which is why I was telling you about finding your book, because I was cleaning out a whole bunch of stuff to make room. And it's going to be so pretty. Somebody said to me, what you need to do is capture those moments, like go in there now and show everybody what it looks like and just take a video of it and then show the transformation, because people love to see what you're doing to get to from here to here. Right.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on, a lot happening behind the scenes.
That's great. But where have the years gone? I mean, it's been a long time, and you guys haven't aged. I don't know how you did it.
We have a special camera on our computer,
right?
So we, it's done intentionally, so we look a lot better than our guests.
You get the youthful filter, I get the old filter.
No, but we give everybody a little piece of advice to take with them, and this is my cup of inspiration today.
Okay, here we go.
If you're going to lie about your age, lie older. So if I go and I say I'm 78 years old, they're like, man, you look fantastic.
I know. That's true. Not bad for 90, huh?
If I say I'm 58, they're like, kind of a hard life, huh?
Oh my goodness gracious. So Dan, we'll let you go. This has been so much fun.
So
there was a comment that came through that said Dan should be your guest every weekend.
You guys are the best. Thanks for having me. And I'm going to have to reciprocate if I get this technology stuff down. I'll have you on my thing, and
your grandkids will figure it out.
I know. That's call my 9-year-old.
That'll do it. That's for sure.
But you guys look great. Let's try to get together. I'll give you a call when I'm down there. And hey, everybody, buy Judy's jewelry. It's great.
And buy Dan's book.
Yes. Yeah, we don't, scratch each other's back or anything, do we?
No,
I love you guys. This was great.
Cheers.
Cheers to you.
With a toast.
We love you.
Love you too. Thank you.
You're very welcome. We'll talk to you soon, Dan. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Oh, how much
That's
fun was
amazing.
that?
He's an amazing man.
Yeah, he
What
really
an
is.
inspiration
And
he
and
is.
I think something that he said, which really hits home so much, is that it's a great way to have the attitude that things do happen for a reason. And while you may not see it at the time or may not understand it at the time, if you have that faith and you have that understanding that there's something around the corner that will identify itself as the reason that maybe you were supposed to go through it, then it really helps. And that there are lessons and new chapters in life that we learn to embrace.
Well, and even that saying of "Don't sweat the small stuff."
Oh, I love that.
It's all small stuff.
I say that all the time.
Well, right, but you
I
may
said it
not.
to myself just yesterday.
But you don't get the perspective of what's small stuff until you're something that dramatic.
Big.
So
that's right.
I think it's a good lesson for us every day.
Yeah, I agree. Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
And I'm empty.
Me too.
I think that means the broadcast is over.
We love you guys too, and we thank
Yeah.
you. Share if you like.
Yes, please
on
do.
Your page.
That would be wonderful.
Next Sunday will be business as usual, I think, right?
I think business as usual. We're back to normal. We don't know what that's going to be yet, but we'll fill you in on Facebook. You know, you can count on it. All right, you guys, take care. Happy Sunday.
Thank you.